Why closing with the wrong title company can cause you to live out your worst nightmare. In honor of Halloween, let's tell some spooky title stories. And the first one is one for the books. Had a couple come to me who purchased a home in around 2016. When they purchased the house, they were unmarried, but they got married just a few months later. So they took title as an unmarried couple, joint tenants. Now, the reason why this turned out to be a huge problem for them is because, number one, a joint tenancy is not even a viable option in Tennessee. You can hold title as tenants in common with or without survivorship. So when the couple purchased the home, they did it as joint tenants. The statute in Tennessee interprets that as a tenancy in common without rights of survivorship. Unfortunately, the husband died just a few years after they took title, and she's been living in and paying for this home all by herself since 2018. Well, now she wants to turn around and sell it, and unfortunately, she's not able to because he has children who have now inherited a part of his portion of the home, and they're not willing to sell without being compensated financially. This is called partition. The children, according to state statute and by law, they by right own 2/3 of 1/2 of the title. So complicated, but as tenants in common, she owns a half, he owned a half, and when he passed away, 1/3 of his 1/2 share went to her as a spousal share, and the remaining 2/3 went to the children as their inheritance. They don't have to agree to sell, and even if they do, they are entitled to receiving financial compensation for their part. So unfortunately, even though she's been living in and paying for this home by herself, she's now in a very sticky financial situation that's going to cost her, if they even agree to sign a deed, well over $50,000, $60,000. So you ask, Kim, how could a title company prevent this situation from happening? It's very easy. All they have to do is have a conversation with the buyers. Ask them, how would you like to hold title? Explain what that means and explain all of the legal ramifications for that decision. Document in writing that that is indeed what the couple wants, and then ensure that the deed is drafted in accordance with their instructions. To use a tenancy like joint tenancy that doesn't even exist in Tennessee just demonstrates that there is a lack of care in this situation, and no one had a conversation with them because they would have never chosen that type of vesting had someone spoken with them about it. You can choose your title company and make sure that you're closing with someone that you can trust, someone that you know has your best interests at heart, that is going to spend the time and take the care to ensure that your transaction closes exactly the way you expect, so that years down the road, you're not facing an ugly situation like unfortunately this poor lady is facing. The next question is, Kim, shouldn't title insurance cover the situation? Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So we're fighting for our client to receive coverage in this case. I believe that she is entitled to it because title has become unmarketable based on these mistakes that have been made. But we don't know how this certain underwriter is going to examine the situation and what kind of a ruling they're going to come back with. Unfortunately, she may find herself in a situation where she's coming out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars for someone else's mistake. Now, your third question may be, Kim, can't you do anything to fix the deed? Sometimes the reformation of a deed is an available option to us. We can go to court, ask a judge to make revisions to a deed based on a scrivener's error. Unfortunately, in this case, that's probably not going to be an available option. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to justify unwinding the title to this because they were in fact unmarried when they purchased. They did not get married until later. And now that the way that the title is vested, it's just unfortunately created a lot of problems. Sometimes title defects just can't be fixed, and the only option is to pay out of pocket to resolve the problem. You do have a choice for your title insurance company. If you're a real estate agent, consider sending your next closing to us. And if you're a buyer or a seller, consider closing with us, and you know that we're going to be taking care of you throughout the entire transaction. You guys, if you have any questions about vesting in Tennessee or you want us to take a look at your deed, don't hesitate to give us a call. We're always here to help.